You pick it up. You didn't decide to. Your hand just moved. Screen unlocks, thumb swipes, eyes scan. Nothing new. You put it down. 10 minutes later, you pick it up again. You tell yourself it's boredom, it's habit. It's a bad app design that tricked you. But the real answer is far stranger. Your brain isn't broken. It's doing exactly what it evolved to do, in an environment it was never built for. This isn't a story about willpower. It's a story about a checking instinct that kept your ancestors alive for 2 million years, hijacked by a piece of glass in your pocket. Here's where it starts. Not with phones, with food. 200,000 years ago, a hunter-gatherer wakes up hungry. There's no fridge, no grocery store, no guarantee that today ends with a full stomach. So the brain does something clever. It doesn't wait for food to show up. It goes looking. It scans the horizon. It checks the berry bush that was empty yesterday. Maybe today it isn't. That checking behavior isn't laziness. It's survival math. In a world of scarce, unpredictable resources, the organisms that kept checking outcompeted the ones that gave up after one look. Your brain still runs that exact program. It just doesn't know the resource changed. In the 1930s, a psychologist named B.F. Skinner ran an experiment that would end up explaining almost every app on your home screen. He put pigeons in a box with a lever. Press the lever, get a food pellet. Simple enough. But then he changed the rule. Instead of a pellet every time, the pigeons got one only sometimes, on no fixed schedule. Some presses paid off, most didn't. You'd expect the pigeons to give up. They did the opposite. The pigeons on the unpredictable schedule pressed the lever more, not less, and they kept pressing long after the food stopped coming altogether. Skinner called this variable ratio reinforcement. It's the single most addictive reward pattern known to behavioral science. Not a guaranteed reward, not no reward, an unpredictable one. Sound familiar? Every time you unlock your phone, you're pulling a lever. Sometimes there's a message that matters. Sometimes there's nothing. You never know which one it'll be until you check. And that not knowing is the entire mechanism. Your brain isn't chasing the phone. It's chasing the uncertainty. There's a deeper layer underneath this, and it lives in a tiny cluster of cells near the base of your brain. In the 1990s, a neuroscientist named Wolfram Schultz was recording activity in the brains of monkeys while they learned to expect a reward, a squirt of juice, after a specific cue. What he found reshaped how we understand motivation itself. Dopamine, it turned out, wasn't a pleasure chemical. It was a prediction chemical. It didn't spike when the monkey got the juice. It spiked when the monkey wasn't sure if the juice was coming. The uncertainty itself was the trigger. Certainty, in fact, made the dopamine signal drop. Read that again. Your brain releases more of its motivation chemical for maybe than it does for yes. This is why a text that says, "Call me, we need to talk," can occupy your mind more than one that just says what's wrong. The unknown outranks the known. Every single time. Now put this next to your phone. Every app on it is engineered, whether by accident or by design, to recreate Skinner's lever and Schultz's uncertain juice at the same time. A notification could be nothing. It could be something huge. You don't know until you look. So you look. Again and again. But there's a second ancient system running underneath the first one, and it's older and arguably more powerful. It's the one built for other people. Humans are, by a wide margin, the most socially dependent primates on the planet. A researcher named Robin Dunbar spent decades studying primate social groups and found something striking. The size of a species' brain correlates closely with the size of the social group it can track. Bigger groups, bigger brains, more mental bandwidth spent monitoring who's doing what to whom. For most of human history, that monitoring happened in bands of maybe 50 to 150 people. You knew who was angry at who. You knew who had food to share and who might turn on you. Losing track of the group wasn't just uncomfortable. It was dangerous. Exile from the group, in a world with predators and no locks on doors, was close to a death sentence. So your brain built a constant background process. Check on the group. Are you still safe with them? Are you still one of them? A psychologist named John Cacioppo spent much of his career studying loneliness, and what he found was unsettling. The brain treats social disconnection almost identically to physical pain. Isolation doesn't just feel bad. It registers, biologically, as a threat to survival, activating some of the same alarm systems as hunger or cold. Now think about what's sitting in your pocket. It's not a berry bush. It's not a lever. It's the entire tribe compressed into a rectangle, updating every few seconds. Every scroll is a status check on a social group that, for the first time in human history, has no upper limit and never sleeps. Your ancient brain doesn't know the difference between 50 people around a fire and 500 million people on a platform. It just knows, this is the group. Check the group. Stay safe. That's the trap. Not laziness, not weak willpower. Two ancient systems, food-seeking and social monitoring, both firing at once, both convinced they're keeping you alive, both being fed by a device built to exploit exactly that. Here's the part that should genuinely unsettle you. Every one of those systems evolved to have a stopping point. The berry bush eventually ran out of berries. The tribe eventually settled down for the night. Uncertainty resolved itself one way or another, and the checking stopped. Your phone was built to never resolve. There's always another post, always another possible message forming somewhere, always maybe. So ask yourself, honestly, when was the last time you checked your phone and felt fully finished afterward? You probably can't remember, because the system isn't designed to end. It's designed to reset. This doesn't mean you're powerless. Understanding the mechanism is itself a kind of power. When you feel that itch to check, that isn't a character flaw surfacing. That's a 200,000-year-old survival circuit, mistaking a notification for a berry bush, mistaking a like count for tribal safety. You can name it when it happens. You can ask out loud if you need to, is this actual information, or is this just uncertainty pulling a lever in my head? That single question interrupts the loop in a way that pure willpower never manages to. Somewhere in a version of you that lived 200,000 years ago, standing at the edge of a forest, scanning for movement, checking one more time before deciding it was safe to look away, there's a straight line running to your hand. Right now, reaching for the thing on the table beside you. You didn't decide to reach for it. Your hand just moved, and now you know exactly why.